Finance ministers of the world's 7 wealthiest nations gathered for a meeting in Canada over the weekend. 6 countries, excluding the U.S., denounced the recent decision by the Trump administration to impose tariffs on steel and aluminum. The U.S. Treasury Secretary at the meeting stressed the need for a fair and balanced trade. Our Jung-hee reports.
Countries of the G7 minus the U.S. have criticized Washington over its recent decision to impose tariffs on steel and aluminum. Meeting in Whistler, Canada for a group of 7 finance ministers meeting, top officials from Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the United Kingdom issued a joint statement expressing, quote, unanimous concern and disappointment. And they asked the U.S. Treasury Secretary to convey that to President Trump. This in regards to Washington's decision to impose a 25% tariff on steel imports and 10% tariff on aluminum imports from the EU, Canada, and Mexico.
The Americans have decided to, in our mind, take an action that's not at all constructive. It's actually destructive to our ability to get things done around tariffs on steel and aluminum.
In the joint statement, the 6 finance ministers called for decisive action from the U.S., adding that their goal is to convince the U.S. to move back from these tariffs. Each country also has plans to retaliate.
I can say that we've already demonstrated our willingness to retaliate. We were prepared, we were ready to move forward because we knew that this was at least one potential outcome.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, who was the prime target of criticism at the meeting, held a separate press conference and said the U.S. wants to ensure fair and balanced trade. He claimed the meeting was not at all a G6+1 meeting like many have said it was.
Our objective is to make sure we have fair and balanced trade, and that's really what we're focused on. I don't think in any way the U.S. is abandoning its leadership in the global economy. No, I think this was the G7. Anybody who made the comment, I think there was a comment out there that the G6+1. It was not. It's the G7. We believe in the G7. It's an important group.
Just before the G7 summit ended, Trump tweeted that the U.S. cannot tolerate unfair trade anymore and that it's been ripped off by other countries for years. Jung-hee, Arirang News.